And faithers, my buddy Dr. Fung, 5 advantages of intermittent fasting.
Fasting to your regimen. I'm going to give you the top 5 advantages that I see, and it's coming right up. Advantage number 1. Fasting can be used with any diet. Remember that fasting is any period of time that you're not eating. Therefore, it really doesn't tell you anything about what you eat when you decide to eat. It only concerns itself with the amount of time that you don't eat. So whether you follow a vegetarian
The amount of time that you don't eat. It's all you're worrying about in fasting.
diet or a carnivore diet or a low carb or a high carb or a low fat or a high fat, it doesn't really matter because you can still add fasting. If you think about it this way, you can break um, the day into 2 parts. The part where you're feeding, that's when you're eating and your body is going to store energy, which is calories. And then there's a part where you're supposed to fast. And that's why we have this word breakfast, break fast. It's the meal that breaks your fast. It's supposed to be in balance. Whereas feeding, you're going to be storing calories, while you're fasting, you're going to be using those stored calories.
Right.
The body stores calories in 2 ways. It can store it as sugar, and it can store it as body fat. If you have too much sugar, you might have type 2 diabetes. If you have too much body fat, then you have obesity. So therefore, if you want to take care of those diseases naturally and without medications, then simply allow your body to burn off that energy.
Notice he said naturally and without medication. It's crazy how people would rather eat all day long, whatever they want, and then go to the doctor and says, give me a magic pill to fix all the damage I'm gonna keep doing to myself. Human beings we're so weird. Instead of not eating, allowing your body to heal, instead of eating healthy stuff, allowing your body to use it for fuel and not store no unwanted fat or sugars. We want to eat whatever we want, whenever we want, then go to the doctor and say, hey man, I need you to fix the damage I've done to myself. Do you have a pill that can do that? It's crazy.
That's all it is. That's all body fat is. That's all that blood sugar is. It's a store of energy. Advantage number 2, flexibility. While you're fasting, the most important thing is that you are always in control. You are deciding not to eat. It's not that somebody is forcing you. It's not that food isn't available. It is available, but you're choosing not to eat it. And therefore, you can change it whenever you want.
Right.
You can do it some days and not some days. You can decide to do more this month and less next month. If you're going on vacation, for example, you might not do it at all. And then afterwards, you may do more to catch up. And that's okay because you're always in control. Advantage number 3, it's free. The advantage of fast.
That's one of my favorite words, free. Hoo, 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 hoo. Do you know how much money people pay the medical industry and big pharma yearly for things that they probably could have prevented if they watch what they eat and fasted and use that money for something else? Fasting is free.
Is that it's completely free. You don't have to pay any money. In fact, you're going to save money because you don't have to buy the grocery.
Right. Not only don't you have to pay, but you're going to save because you're not buying a whole bunch of Snicker bars. As you can tell, I like Snicker bars.
You're in fact trying to feed yourself off of your own body fat because your body has stored all this energy in those fat cells, and as it stores the energy, it's going to let you.
People still eat Snicker bars? I don't see people eat. When I was young, that was a big thing. Maybe That's why I still got it in my head. Anyway, sorry, Dr. Fung. Go ahead, brother.
Burn it off, and you're not going to have to pay for it. Advantage number 4. It's simple and convenient. It's very easy to explain to somebody how to fast. You simply don't eat. There's no complicated rules. It's not.
It depends who you're explaining it to. Some folks love food, and when you're explaining fast, and I've seen this. I've been talking to people, and and as soon as I say fasting, it's like, they're like, "What you said?" I said fasting. They're like, they be like, "What? I didn't understand nothing else you said." I said, because when I start talking and I say fasting, it's like, wah, wah, wah. Remember Charlie Brown, the teachers? That's what they hear, because they're like, "What do you mean I can't eat?" Depend on who you explaining it to, Dr. Fong. Let's continue.
Like you have to figure out how many carbohydrates are in your box of cookies, or
Right.
you don't have to see if it's keto, you don't have to see if it's gluten-free or vegetarian or whatever. You simply don't eat.
Right.
You can explain it really in 5 seconds. You simply choose the time that you don't want to eat. If you decide that you're going to fast for 16 hours, that means you're going to feed for 8 hours. So you can decide, for example, to eat between the hours of 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. And outside of that, you simply don't eat. And because it's so simple, it means it's available to anybody, anywhere, at any time.
Available to anybody, anywhere, at any time, for free, any country, any place, anybody. No excuse not to fast every once in a while, at least once a week.
You don't have to have access to special foods or special bars or special protein shakes. You don't have to pay anybody for that. It's always within your grasp. It's also convenient because there's nothing complicated about it. If you're, for example, not the one cooking and you want to eat a very low carb diet, and somebody cooks for you and it's all carbs, well, it's very difficult to eat. But you always have that choice of not eating,
Right.
which is fasting. It's also going to save you so much time because you're not going to have to worry about what's for the next meal. You're not going to have to worry about getting to your next meal. You're not going to have to buy the groceries. You're not going to have to cook it. You're not going to have to spend the time eating it. And you're not going to have to spend the time cleaning up.
Right.
And because of that, it's going to simplify your life as well as your diet. If you're trying to follow a specific diet that's very difficult, for example, you go somewhere, you're vegetarian, and you go to a steakhouse, well, it's very good. It's very hard to do that. But if you're going to fast, you can say, well, you know what? I'll catch up with you guys next time.
Right.
It's always there for you. And the number 5 advantage, and probably the most important advantage of fasting, is that it's powerful and it works.
It's powerful and it works. It doesn't matter who you are, how long you've been dieting, like me, how many diets you've tried. I've tried all of them. Nothing worked better, was more powerful than fasting, and easier once you get over the mental, because it's all mental. It's not in your belly. It's all mental. It's all in your mind. Once you get over the mental issues, nothing is more powerful, easier, and more effective than fasting. Trust me. And I've tried everything. And I'm a hard loser, like they say. I'm an easy gainer, hard loser. Fasting, if you like me, everything you've heard, and I'm 48, it works. Trust me.
Think about it
It's only one way you will ever find out if it works, if you try.
this way. When you don't eat,
Leave the Snicker bars alone.
you're going to take in 0 calories. But your body still needs energy.
Right.
It needs that food energy to get the heart going, for the lungs, for the brain, and all that. So it's going to have to burn those stores of energy, which is either from glucose or from body fat.
Right.
So you can't get lower than 0 calories. So it is the most powerful diet that is currently available. Anything else you do simply cannot beat it. And it works because if you find that fasting for 16 hours doesn't really work, you can extend it. You can do 24 hours. You can do 36 hours. You can do 48 hours. You can keep going until you start seeing the results that you want.
Right. So no matter what he's saying that eventually you have to see results. Your body has to let go of the fat. It has no other choice. That's why fasting is so powerful, and that's why fasting works.
There's no limit to it. If you're vegetarian and you want to lose weight, well, you can't get more vegetarian than vegetarian. So therefore, you've reached the natural limit.
Right. That makes sense.
But if you're fasting, you can always go longer, as long as you do it safely.
Right.
And for type 2 diabetes, there may be particular benefits to intermittent fasting. In type 2 diabetes, the body has too much glucose, which spills out into the blood. And this can be used as a source of energy for the cells. So if you're not eating, your body's going to turn to the most available source of energy, which is the blood glucose. So therefore, you can use it to bring down your blood glucose rather than relying on medications which have side effects, which can be expensive, and all that kind of thing. Right. It's a natural way to bring down your blood glucose. Wow. In fact, the American Diabetes Association started to address this in its 2022 update on nutritional treatments. And it flagged it as one of the areas that is interesting for potential research. There hasn't been a lot of research lately, but because of the intense interest in the last few years into intermittent fasting, 2 studies came out at the end of 2022, which suggested that indeed intermittent fasting could be used to bring about a drug-free remission of type 2 diabetes.
And it's free. Free. You can do it anywhere. It's powerful and it works. Come on, Dr. Fung, keep talking.
Which is all natural. And that's all great news because this is something that is available to anybody, anywhere at no cost. So remember that there's a huge number of advantages to intermittent fasting. Those are my top 5. And there's lots of different ways that you can incorporate the fasting into your schedule, building a fasting routine, building a circle of friends that will help you to lose weight. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.
Like and subscribe to Dr. Fung. Support his channel. Like and subscribe to this channel. Support this channel through PayPal, Patreon, product purchasing, Cash App. Let's fast together. Fasting gives you superpowers. You can do it anywhere. It works. It's free. The benefits are immense. Remember, 3 John 1:2, God says he wants you to prosper and be in good health. God bless you. Let's fast.